Skool has done a really tremendous job of connecting people in a really intimate way online. And the way you take that to the next level is having
Goose Dunleavy, multi-six-figure entrepreneur, Skool Games winner and host of the Skool Games Mansion.
the mansion. This idea that sort of started just for fun is actually becoming a core aspect of what defines the Skool Games. Almost everyone comes because they want to meet the leadership. They want to meet Sam, they want to meet Alex. And you actually realize that what you really wanted was to be in a room where you didn't have to explain yourself.
What's some advice that you can share for those beginners out there?
Well, most will tell you, and it's probably true, that you'll want to start.
I'm here in beautiful Las Vegas in the Skool Games Mansion.
Correct.
And I'm sitting here with the experienced host, the host with the most, Goose. Nice. Thank you for coming on by, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot for being here, dude.
inviting us into, like, I guess not your home, but the place that you bring everyone together. That's awesome.
Cool people are always welcome.
That's awesome. Why don't you tell the viewers like who you are, what you do, and we'll dive a little bit more into your story.
Sure, yeah. So I have the community Captivate. I started that in April of this year, which is about 4 months ago. And we won the Skool Games, and then the next month showed up to the Skool Games, and then the next month was asked to come back and do what we did at the previous one, unprompted, which was just make it more lively and fun. Mm-hmm. And so now I just do that regularly. I come back and make sure that the vibes are in check and everyone's having a good time.
So let's go back. So you won the Skool Games. How much money did you make?
$34K.
$34K.
Yeah.
And how much was your program?
It was 1,000.
Okay, dope.
So 34 clients.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then what? So I mean, you glossed it over. I want to hear more about the story though. Like,
Sure.
What were some of the pitfalls, the headaches, the mistakes, the things you want to pull out your hair, right? Because people watching this right now want to win the Skool Games.
Yeah.
Right? They want to win the Skool Games. They want to come here to the Skool Mansion. How the heck do they get here? Give us the roadmap.
Wow. So the really spectacular thing that you learn, I think a lot of us would agree on that one, once you've won the Skool Games, is you think, wow, if all I needed was a competition to help get me there, I guess I could have done it myself the whole time. Right? It's almost as if the money aspect is like, it's exciting, but not as exciting as like winning something.
100%.
So it's like almost a mental game. So I would probably say the big one is like, go hard. Like really hard. Use all of your resources, something that I hadn't done previously. I'd used a lot of them, but not all of them.
Right.
And then the second thing I'd say is prepare for fulfillment, because that's the real, like that's, the hard part is once you've built a business that works really well, you got to be able to service that business. And that is challenging for a lot of us that haven't been doing it for an extended period of time. So once you're done with that step, now once you've stabilized, you're in a place where you not just made this business blow up overnight, well, seemingly overnight, but you stabilized it and got it to a point from then on that you were operating, you were running it. Like this is your business now. You do this. And the problem that we were identifying was a lot of folks were dropping off, which was completely avoidable because the whole time you've got all these other people that are going through the same process, same trials and tribulations, and can help each other.
Right.
And so this was sort of how to address that, how to make sure that everyone stayed playing the game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Frick, that's cool. Like, it's just mind blowing. Like, it seems so simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're bringing something that everyone is struggling with and just makes it super transparent, super simple, and easy. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that you're here, what are some of the future goals of the mansion, of the winners? Like, what is something you're trying to do and build with this community?
Well, one of the big things is that once it kind of changes. Like Skool has done a really tremendous job of connecting people in a really intimate way online. And the way you take that to the next level is having IRL events, something that's either put together by individuals or communities or even with Skool Games.
Right.
And right now we're sort of on the forefront of that. So it's kind of setting the tone for what that could look like with masterminds and things of that kind. So the future of it is probably, I mean, even just this month, the mansion, this idea that sort of started just for fun is actually becoming a core aspect of what defines the Skool Games. Almost everyone comes because they want to meet the leadership. They want to meet Sam. They want to meet Alex. But it's like the lead magnet, just like with everything that we're always teaching, because once you're in, you actually realize that what you really wanted was to be in a room where you didn't have to explain yourself. And people are like, oh yeah, no, totally, I do that too. And all of a sudden, all these age ranges all at the same time are like, yeah, I get you. I understand where you're coming from.
100%.
Entrepreneurs are on their own most of the time.
Yeah.
So this is now a standardized like version, like this exists as this is now a part of Skool Games going forward. And so much so that we're even looking at having all of the meals and everything at the mansion as well. And the mansion moves. I mean, the mansion is an idea. It's not like a place. It's a people, not a place.
I thought it was like a physical place.
Yeah.
But even then, even with it moving, it's dope because you get different experiences every month.
Yeah.
You know, new people come, get a new experience, right?
That's right.
And talk about it, right? And this might be something we try, documenting that experience, right? The new mansion, the new, winners of the Skool Games, some new, some old, right? Maybe you host some, I don't know if you do masterminds or something where people give their best kind of advice and stuff like that. And it's pretty... You know what I love? Like, it's pretty candid. Like, we got people playing Nintendo in the background, people eating in the background. We're sitting here in the kitchen, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of like this energy is just like different.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Okay.
It's natural.
It's natural.
Yeah. One last thing I would say, too, is that we're also looking at doing these. So it's beautiful that you can have all the winners from each month together to meet each other, but that's not all of the winners being able to meet each other. So it's just a small sample size each time.
Right.
So that one of the big future pieces that we're looking at now is what would it look like to start having that more of on a global stage where now you can have annual or semi-annual events which aren't like hosted by Skool, but that are endorsed or supported, so that you really are solidifying the network of people that have done something successful, and you want to encourage them to keep succeeding with the network that already exists.
Yeah. Something we learned today, I was in a mastermind today, and they said that, in order to get the best work done, you work with others.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
And it's amazing how much we got done in one day, working with so many people.
Yeah.
And it just like cuts through the noise of all the bullshit and everyone watching this right now who dream of coming here, right? What's some advice that you can share that you can remember when you dreamt of, like, this wasn't even a thing back then, right? But I'm sure you had a goal of like, I want to win the Skool Games. So let's share some advice, share some more wisdom, for those beginners out there.
Okay. And what are they looking for? They're trying to figure out.
They want to win the Skool Games.
Oh, man. Well, take sacrifice. A lot of sacrifice.
They want to get to this mansion that you just beautifully described, right? They why I'm asking about your vision is like, I want to paint the picture of what their goals are. I want to put that on my vision board. I want to be at this global event with all these 1%, the most successful coaches and creators running Skool. I want to be at this event, but now I'm stuck with how? Yeah.
So how to win Skool Games? Well, most will tell you, and it's probably true, that you'll want to start high ticket. You go high ticket, you go for something that's 500 or 1,000, something like this.
So like yours, right? You started high ticket.
Yeah, ours was 1,000.
Yeah.
And then you just push like hell. You have to start with a delicious offer, something that is very hard to say no to.
I like that.
And
it matches your energy, your vibe. That description.
A juicy offer.
Yeah, that sounds way cooler and way better than like, an irresistible offer. It's like, it makes sense.
Yeah. Let me rephrase. You need a fucking juicy offer. If your offer is juicy, then you have no problem getting a bunch of people in there. And that's why I say, in order to win, you got to push really hard, like more than you normally would.
Right.
Which means you're putting more weight on your fulfillment second month. So you just have to know that your second month will also be challenging, but your first month is going to be something you've probably not done before.
Right.
If you're hoping to win, and if you're not starting from having a following from before.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people probably watching this right now don't have that following, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
So that push that you're talking about, are you talking about with ads, with content, like
all of it, every avenue? Yeah, I won with no following. I never made a single ad, nothing, and so all of this was just done with the existing Skool network and family and friends. My launch was overnight, but it was an 8K launch. I sold 8 people in the 2 weeks before, and said the caveat is you have to sign up within this half hour on this day. Can you do that? If so, all right. I got 15 to confirm and 8 to actually do it. So it's not bad, 50%.
Yeah.
And so if you can have something like that in your launch where you're able to like really plan for a particular day that this takes off, the accountability of having them start month to month is significant. It really helps out. Accountability is a big one. That's like the deadline. You have 30 days to win. You're here with the other 10 winners. Those kinds of things, just as you were saying, really helps with setting the tone for making sure you are not in a position to lose.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here in July, end of July, just celebrated the July winners of Skool Games. any fun plans for August?
Oh, actually, this would be the June winners.
Oh, June winners.
Yeah, these
Pardon
are
me,
June
the
winners.
June winners. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Plans for the July winners. Well, we're actually looking at having a bigger mansion with more amenities. And assuming that goes, assuming we find the place that we're looking for, it's probably just going to encompass a lot more of all of the wonderful feedback we've been getting for the last few months about, like, I love this, more of this, please.
Yeah.
And almost always it becomes, I want more people like me that have this mindset to be able to interact with and help me get there while I'm helping them get there. That's the big one.
That's awesome. Are you going to be documenting more this process?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we really have to start documenting more of how this thing works.
I mean, honestly, dude, like, this is my first time here, and just meeting the people and talking with them, it's like I want to, like, take out my notes and pens and write down all the things they're saying.
Take off your shirt, jump in the pool.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
That pool looks delicious,
Juicy, even.
juicy. So, but yeah, I mean, like, coming, I'm a little biased, obviously I'm a videographer, right? But documenting that whole process of you guys building this is so cool.
Yeah.
You're painting the vision for everyone who wants to win the school games, not just because of the money, and the money is impactful and life-changing, but for the connections and the relationships you build. It's a true community. And we're saying this offline, that a lot of my entrepreneurial friends are online. Like, in my local network, I don't have close entrepreneurial friendships.
Yeah, it's tough.
Right? So, like this idea that how did this, like, come about? Like, can you explain the story a little bit about that? Like, you just woke up one day, or what?
For myself personally?
Yeah, because you started this, right? This whole experience.
Oh, the mansion.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. The mansion idea was just, I mean, I've always been kind of a room reader. So if something's off, I'm like, okay, we got to change the music here. The lighting's too off. Like this lighting's shit. It's cold. It's not warm. And those kinds of things, making sure a group of people, their vibe is in check. There's never been, like, I've never had it's always just come naturally. So when I was coming to the School Games event that I had won, plenty of people were telling me what to expect and what wasn't there. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, if they see this, then easily I could come in and change that. And because I had a good picture of what it would look like, I was like, okay, well, I could do some other things too, like bring some music, have some merch of some kind, all of these fun intangibles. But some of them were tangible.
So it's very much like off a whim, in the sense that you talk to people, they were telling you, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had this. You're like, oh, perfect, I'm going to start this thing.
Yeah. I mean, this came off the back of a community that I started called Cafe, which was just to connect the winners, because it didn't exist until then. And even when I was reaching out to everyone, they all knew who I was, but they hadn't talked to me yet. And maybe everyone was just too cool. Maybe it was just too foreign to, like, reach out. I don't know what the roadblocks were exactly, but as soon as you gave the invite, everyone was like, yeah, let's hang out. So that's awesome. If you have willing people, then there's nothing standing in your way for making sure that there's a connection between all of it. And so there just had to be a platform for everyone to stand on. So, we're a community platform. So easy to just have another community that does just that.
Yeah.
And then, that grew into what became the mansion.
Dude, that's epic, man. Yeah. So is there anything you want to share to the audience right now? You want to promote, you want to tell people about, introduce, maybe tell them where they can find you, learn more information?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. First question, something that they can know.
So wrapping up
as far as building community, probably. Let me think. There was one question that I was going to answer in particular. Give me a second.
About building the community?
Yeah, it was about...
In person?
No, not in person. It was about getting your start if you wanted to win School Games.
Oh, getting started. Oh, yeah, for the beginners. Yeah.
Yeah. There was an element there that I skipped over.
So you said you have to push. You have to push really hard. You didn't have an audience. It doesn't matter. You could start from zero. Is stuff that you said.
What was it? I don't remember.
Yeah, how do you win the School Games was the question.
Yeah.
Sacrifice? Talk about sacrifice?
Yeah, there was something that had to do with the notion of, I think, not having a following.
Yeah, you said you don't have to have a following. You had no following. You never run an ad before, and you just did it. You made it happen.
Yeah.
You figured it out.
Yeah,
It was,
I think maybe if I were to add one more piece to that, and then
Sure.
we can conclude
Yeah.
with your following statements.
yeah.
Hopefully I find what the thought was somewhere in there. But the idea was that, yeah, if you don't have a following, you don't really need one. You just need that juicy offer. So you really got to peg that down. Oh,
Yeah.
here's what it is. I know
Okay.
what it was.
Gotcha.
This is good because this comes up a lot, but it's kind of a little more on the esoteric side.
Okay,
So it's a little hippy dippy.
that's fine.
We were just talking about it again today, which was that it's very interesting that a lot of the people that end up winning the school games, whether they've had a following or not, they're usually in environments where they're kind of the only one, or their group is the only one that says, yeah, do the entrepreneurship thing. That's cool. I support you. And it's almost as if when you're starting out, you should expect it to be hard because, especially if you have no following, because it's almost as if you have to prove to the universe that you're willing to put skin in the game in order to earn this thing. Because everyone here busted their ass, and now they're in this position where they can just message or text someone who knows what they're talking about without any kind of pre-explanation. And that is a massive luxury. It's the most outstanding feature that everyone keeps repeating at the mansion. So I would almost say that if you're not feeling pain from starting your thing, then probably you're not doing it right.
I mean, what you just described is like any video game. I mean, level 1 is for the hardest. You're learning how to play.
Yeah.
You're dying all the time. You're making mistakes.
You didn't get the grapple hook yet?
You're falling off the edge.
Yeah.
You know, your friends online are laughing at you, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get to level 10, get to level 20, and all of a sudden things get easier. Things get better. You get more confident. You build connections. You build community.
Yeah.
And it's that discipline, that hard work, and, you know, as we got video games in the background, you know, it's like, that's the thing. It's anything we start is going to be hard. Right? How can it not be? Or else everyone would be a school game winner, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, I mean, beautifully said. Juicy offer. You got to work hard.
Yeah.
You know,
And expect pain.
and expect pain. What about how do you like? I want to hear your advice on standing out, being different, because
Sure.
it's easy to copy someone's offer, right? I
Sure.
can promise that, right? But what makes your offer different? And then maybe we can close after that.
Okay, sure. So making an offer juicy usually means, in fact, it happens a lot in business. My recommendation is steal like hell, always, but make it yours and thank them in the process. So all of my mentors, they're all on Skool, and they may or may not have like literally been there, but they, you know, I would learn from them watching what they were doing. And I thanked each and every one of them and said, I took this and I turned it into this. Thanks for helping guide that. Yeah. A lot of people don't do the thanking part.
Yes.
Most of them will at least steal. Some of them will customize it on their own. But if you really want success, the two fundamentals are you have to steal it and then customize, like tailor it to yourself. And then in the process, you actually get an added boost by thanking these people because they're like, awesome, you learned that from me. I want to see you win. You're like my brainchild now, right? That's a really cool element to have. It gets people really excited when they hear a thank you for.
I haven't heard of anyone upset like, oh, you're winning from my advice? That's amazing. Like, how would they be upset?
Only if you didn't thank them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Easy. And then that customizable piece, is there any like secrets in that? How you make it more your own? Is that like knowing yourself more, like understanding?
It's tough. There's a really phenomenal video. It's probably one of my favorite videos, maybe one of my favorite speeches ever. Top 2, 3 maybe.
Gotcha.
And it's by John Cleese about creativity. And it's this shit recording on YouTube, but holy crap, it's good. And one of the things that it talks about in there is that there's nothing that really. The studies on creativity stopped a long time ago because there's no information that we can grasp for it on it. It's too abstract and unpredictable. But what you can do is cultivate an environment to make it really good. So if you just stole an offer and you're like, I want to do something like that. Well, great. Now you sit with it, and someday in the shower, as you're mulling it over, you'll be like, I think I got it. And after you've had one or two of those, you'll start narrowing down on something. And once you've launched, like you start doing something, you can't sit and think for too long. You have to start taking action. And usually it's when you're moving that the best ideas come because your creativity always grows within constraint.
Yeah.
And so you need to give yourself constraint. And if you're just thinking about it and you don't give yourself a position to have limitation, it's not going to happen.
So basically, if you want creativity, you want clarity, take action.
Well,
And the action itself, and what I'm hearing, taking the action will actually create the customizable piece, the aha moment.
yeah, it
Right?
comes from the action usually. Most people will think, if I think about it long enough, I can get there. But no, it's the other way around. You have to do
have to do
something
it.
with
Yeah.
a general idea, and the rest will come.
Dude, so epic. Dude, really, really appreciate this
Yeah.
conversation, this candid, in the mansion, things happen in the background conversation. Is there anything you want to leave us with, where to follow you, where to find you?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
You can find me as Goose on Skool. I'm there. And in the next, probably by the end of this year, I'll have a book out called $1 Million Community that talks about all this stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So all the links to that will be in the description. Thank you guys so much. Peace. Thank
Later.
you so much, man.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.